I pre-ordered this after going to a lock-in at my local game store. And when I went to that lock-in, it was the same demo as I played at EGX, but I was the only person to get up to the boss and almost kill it. Because the trick with that demo was, if you died once, the entire demo ends. So you just have to try and do what you can in one life. And I nailed it, while other people just failed. Okay.
You had experience.
I did. Okay, so now that we have our weapons, let's try and take on this beastie again. This time with some walking stick action.
Damn, that blunderbuss looks cool.
Yep. I'll see if I can use it. Boom! Go back. Boom! Bang, bang! And that's a little example of combat. Nice. Now, ooh, now that's actually a rare drop off of this guy. So, bloodstone shards are what you would need for upgrading your equipment. So, keep a hold of these. And upgrade your stuff when you can. And now we have our first 2 blood vials. Blood vials are your Estus flasks.
Ooh. Eustace.
Eustace
We have a problem.
flasks, yeah.
Obviously,
that.
Eustace is not the correct way to say it, but that is the chosen way.
The chosen way. Yes, but obviously the trick now is, these blood vials are not permanent. These blood vials are finite, as the game will explain to you. Meaning that if you run out of blood vials, well, you have no way of healing.
Okay, so I guess they're more like the gemstones. What were they? The health stone gem.
Oh, the life stones.
You know what I mean? The one use. Yeah, that's right. The one use items.
Yeah.
That's scary.
They're very much like those, but they just give you a burst of health like an Estus and not health over time.
Yeah. Okay.
And the thing is, you'll start seeing early on in the game that we'll get a ton of these. To the extent where we'll be getting like up to 20 very early on. You can only carry 20 at a time.
Oh, okay.
So whether that's upgradable or not, I don't know yet. But welcome to Yharnam. This is our first major area of the game where we start seeing the people are utterly crazy. Why? Well, we'll find out when story progresses. Sure we will.
Wow. Unless, you know, if it's anything like Dark Souls, then the story will be really tricky to figure out.
Yep.
Which is good, because it means you have to really dig deep to figure out what the hell's going on.
True. Like, I'm liking it so far. Like, I haven't seen a lot of the story, because I've literally only just started playing as my other character. And I was mostly using it to test out the stream and everything, but from the story so far is just incredibly straightforward, where you're a hunter, you hunt beasts, do it. It's very much still more along the lines of, if you want to know more about the area you're hunting in, or about the beasties that could be happening, or if you even want to find side quests, because side quests are in this game, you need to explore and basically talk to anyone and everyone that you can. Right. So this, by the way, if I go back to here, this is a lamp. Lamps are pretty much your bonfires in this game. However, they don't act the same as bonfires. So bonfires, originally, when you sat down at them, you'll be in a state where you can't be hit or anything like that. Now with these lamps, because the only option is to literally go to the hub world, because that's where everything is done. You can't level up from these things. You can't upgrade your stuff from these things. You basically have to use these things to teleport back to the hub to do everything there. And you can be hit when using this. And when you do use this, you're just teleported back to your hub. So, enemy, you can't just sit, like, do an entire run of an area, walk all the way back, sit down at this, all the enemies respawn and repeat just to grind. you have to literally go all the way back to the hub world to get the enemies to respawn. Because they don't.
That's interesting.
And I don't know if they carried across the Dark Souls 2 element where if you slay them too much they just stop appearing. I don't know.
In some ways I hope not, because as handy as that was a mechanic, they didn't have that in Dark Souls 1, did they? There was no...
Nah, it wasn't in Dark Souls 1. You can just grind for days.
Yeah. And the grinding is potentially very handy.
True that. Right, so what I'm going to be doing early on here is simply just exploring the place, getting rid of a few stragglers from other locations. Yeah. Shield dude. Turn into wet mode because I have more range in it. Yeah. Very nice. So fluent. It's so good! It just feels so good being able to slash things, because your weapons... Like, this is the biggest thing they made about this game. Weight no longer matters. Like, you don't have a weight counter anymore. Your equipment doesn't have weight to them as a number that you have to maintain. There's none of that. Now, the weapons are just as heavy as they are when you swing them or shoot with them.
Okay, so there's no need to worry about having stuff that's going to be encumbering you and making you slower or anything like that then?
From what I've seen so far, pretty much.
Cool.
It is simply down to your skill and understanding that the heavier weapons are going to swing slower, the lighter weapons are going to swing faster. But what do you go for? Do you go for the heavy weapon that's going to do more damage, or do you go for the lighter weapon that's not going to do as much damage but you can get more hits in and use their stamina by doing so?
That's quite interesting.
Right, so this is now where I'm going to be using a very, very good item in the game, which I love. Well, I would do if the enemies weren't walking away. This item is simply known as a pebble. It does exactly what you think it is. It's a friggin' pebble. You throw this at an enemy, it does little to no damage on them, and you may think to yourself, why the heck are you throwing pebbles at people? Because if you throw a pebble at one enemy out of a gang of enemies that don't know you're there yet, only that one enemy that you hit with a pebble will come charging after you. So you can effectively use these pebbles to get the attention of individual enemies, taking them off one by one. That you're
That's
not
pretty cool.
overly swarmed. Whoops, I mistimed that. I'm gonna get attacked by this guy. And attacked by another shield guy. Yeah. God.
I love that all I hear is just your reactions to the moment. I've got to fill in the blanks.
Don't worry, I'm killing these guys because, yes, they are all bad guys. Now, the awesome thing is, they've made it so that, of course, you have a limit on how many blood vials you can carry. You have a limit on how many bullets you can carry. Now, whenever you pick up an item where you've got the max amount on you, it's not going to come up with a prompt saying, sorry, you have the max, you can't carry anymore. Instead, the item that you're maxed out on when you go to pick it up will be sent to your stash back of the main hub. So you'll get it, it's just not on you, it's back at your house.
Oh, okay, so that's really cool. So you can so there's a stash as well. That's an interesting mechanic. So you can go back and re-equip yourself at any point, I guess.
Pretty
or whenever
much.
you get to a lantern.
Yeah, basically whenever you get back to the hub world again, because again, can't do that at the lantern. It's all done at the hub. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to subscribe to VGU Gaming on YouTube for some more gaming action in the future. Or if you want to, also follow us on our twitch.tv channel in the description below, so that you can be automatically notified for when we go live on Twitch TV. Until next time, we'll be seeing you on the other side.